Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Geelong Zone. We have an unplanned video. This video wasn't planned. We have a little bit of information today about Patrick Dangerfield. He is out for 1 to 2 weeks, a setback in the calf. And I think it's time that he makes a decision about his future, about his career. We know Dangerfield has been a great servant to the Adelaide Crows, a great servant to the Geelong Football Club, Brownlow medalist, premiership player, won it all Australian, won everything. But I think it's now time that he calls it on his career. I think it's now time he puts his ego away and says, you know what, I'm doing more harm than good to this team. Dangerfield injured himself in the Fremantle game last week, and then had a little setback midweek. It was just announced he had a setback. He's now missing 1 to 2 weeks, so he's touch and go for the Easter Monday game against Hawthorn. He will not play this week against the Crows. So I've been on record saying he should have retired at the end of last year at the grand final. He was a complete liability, which he was. And I see the same thing going. He just cannot play back-to-back games. He cannot play midfield minutes. His body is shot, is absolutely shot. And if Dangerfield is watching this, or anyone part of the Geelong club is watching this, I am going to gather round. I will be going to the open training session. I will say this to Dangerfield's face, personally, to his face, on are you considering retirement? And that's what I'll say to him. I will say that. I will say to him, you've been a good servant for Geelong, but in your mind, are you doing more harm than good by not retiring? I will say that directly to his face at Gather Round open training session. In the words of DT, thanks for the memories, but time to say goodbye. Yeah. And I'll say that, and I'll say it to him, straight to him. I will say this to him, that would you be concerned if you played in another prelim final and you had a great game and then your body was shot the next week? Would you consider retiring and not playing in that grand final? I would say that straight to his face. Because he was a liability in that grand final. He had we don't win that prelim if it wasn't for Danger, but his body shot. Should have retired. Leave the football before the football loves you. So we have got 3 ways here of how Dangerfield can retire. How can he go the right way, which should have been really at the end of last year? How can he go without hurting his legacy? Because if this continues, if he plays one game, then he's out for 2 weeks, or he's rested for 2 weeks. He's only playing 10 games a season, and then let's say we make it to a grand final, or a semi-final, elimination final. Plays the lights out. We play another elimination final. He stinks up the joint. All right, we don't want that. That does more harm than good to this club. So there's 3 ways I think he can perfectly announce his retirement without tarnishing his year, because it's a very sad situation. We already saw that with Tom Hawkins. That was very sad. He went on year too long, Tom Hawkins. But having said that, this is option number 1. He makes his announcement after Easter Monday. He says that he will retire. He plays Gather Round in Adelaide, so he gets a farewell game in the state that he played before he went to Geelong. The week after, he plays West Coast in Geelong. He plays Adelaide against West Coast in Adelaide. Adelaide, the state that he played in, he gets a send-off. The week after is the Dogs game in Geelong. He gets the perfect farewell. So he said farewell to the Adelaide to the fans in Adelaide that he played for, and to the Geelong fans in his last game. That's an option. The next option, I don't really want to see, because I think it tarnished Tom Hawkins. Is that a soft retirement? So Tom Hawkins last year said, you know what, I'll retire. If there's an injury, I'll come back and play. And he will replace a player in that position. I don't really want to see that by Dangerfield. I don't want to see him on the outers. Either you make a proper retirement or you play. For me, that kind of tarnish Tom Hawkins a little bit because Shannon Neal was the replacement. And yeah, it wasn't a good look for a legend. The next one, this was suggested by Gaza, the friend of the show who was on the preview the Saturday night space, YouTube space last week. He said he makes a retirement call in round 12, and then round 13 will be his last game against the Crows in Geelong, the team that he played for before he went to Geelong. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Still kicking about Tom Hawkins. Don't want to see the same thing. But yeah, exactly. I don't mind this. I think that would be the perfect way. The perfect way. So he gets the Crow send off. He gets the Geelong send off in the same game. But I don't really want to see this. Where he just sits on the outer. Heaven forbid he might play VFL like Tom Hawkins did. Do we really want to see that? Do we really, really want to see that? Probably not. Probably not. So I think one of these two, the Easter Monday retirement, played West Coast in Adelaide. They get their farewell, and then play the Dogs the following week in Geelong. Or what Gazza suggested, make a retirement call in round 12. Round 13, his last game against Crows in Geelong. I think that's more appropriate. But what cannot happen is him playing every 2 weeks, and then he's missing another 3 weeks. Comes back, plays 2 weeks, misses 3. That cannot happen. That's doing more harm than good. What the fuck are we supposed to do, right? He has. Let's say we make another prelim. He gets us over the line again. What the fuck are we supposed to do knowing what happened last year is going to happen the same thing again? Do we say to him, "Oh, Danger, you know what? Yeah, you got us in here, but maybe you retire." Oh no, you play again, Dangerfield, play the grand final, and be a liability in that grand final. What the fuck are we supposed to do in that situation? What do we do? I don't want to see that. That will do more harm than good. That will not help us win a potential grand final if that happens. So I think it's best he puts his ego away, and he's got the biggest ego in the AFL. Let's be honest with that. Let's be honest. He's got a huge ego. So Danger, I'm gonna talk to you on gather round training. I'm gonna tell this straight to you. I think you're doing more harm than good. If you had a good game in a finals and then didn't play the next week, what are your thoughts on that? Because I don't want a player like him to be a liability and end his career like that. Tarnish his legacy. It tarnishes the Geelong Football Club. And it doesn't help us one little bit. Round 13, Crows in Adelaide, yeah. No, it's in Geelong. That game's in Geelong, not in Adelaide. No, it's in Adelaide. Yeah, it is in Adelaide. There you go. So yeah, maybe that would be appropriate, but maybe he want a farewell. Knowing Dangerfield, he'd want a farewell in his own crowd. I think this one here, the Easter Monday. I think that would be probably more appropriate for me because he probably would want a farewell game in his home crowd, his home venue. So yeah, that's in Adelaide, by the way. That's in Adelaide. Sorry. So yeah, I think the first one would be probably more appropriate. So yeah, make a retirement call after Easter Monday. Plays gather rounds, plays West Coast the next week. So plays the Dogs the next week in Geelong. Everyone's happy. Hopefully we can send him off. The state that he played for before he went to Geelong gets a send off. Geelong gets a send off in his home crowd. I think that would be very good indeed. I think that would be the best one. I didn't even hear that he was injured already. Yes. That's not me making this up. He's out of the Crows game. He's redone his calf, and now he's out this game, and he could be out Easter Monday. He's touch and go for Easter Monday, and if he's touch and go, if he's not even 100%, he shouldn't play. This is the problem, Jezza. Hello, mate. Hello, Jezza. Danger the dinosaur, but this is he's not Salem the cat. There's no Salem the cat here. Danger the dinosaur, but the problem is, Jezza, that every time he plays midfield, he seems to getting injured now. His body's shot. So I think it's now time he makes a call on his career. And come gather round, I'm going to say it to him. I'm going to say, mate, would you step down or would you be willing to sacrifice yourself to let Geelong win a flag if they make it? I'm going to say that straight to him. So those are the three options. So is what it is. I like this one. West Coast and gather round next week. Footscray in Geelong. He can ride into the sunset, go on a high. We'll beat West Coast. Footscray, maybe not, but they've got a good record against us. Footscray and Geelong. So yeah, but this one I don't want to see. I don't want him playing in the VFL. Fucking hell. Hawkins, I think, did that. Fucking nightmare. This one's not too bad, but because it's in Adelaide, I think he might want to, push comes to shove, I think he might want a farewell game in Geelong. But anyway, that's a short video. Paddy wants to play like Selwood in his last year, but no, he doesn't have it. He's gone. He's fucked. His body's gone. Cannot play. And like I said, it will become a liability. I swear to God, if we play another prelim, he has a brilliant game, and then we know what's going to happen the game last year. What the fuck do we do? And there's no sub. We can't even put him as a sub, which we probably should have done it in hindsight. Well, hindsight, he shouldn't have played. Let's be honest. But he should have been the sub at least. Yeah, he can't kick straight so no point playing him full. Yeah, that's the only option for me. Every time he goes in that midfield, he gets hurt now. It's up to that point. It's at that point. They say Father Time is undefeated. You cannot beat Father Time. He's now at it. He's now at Father Time. And it's not about egos. It's not about stroking one's ego. It's about the future and the benefit of the Geelong Football Club. Saw it with Hawkins. That was terrible with Hawkins. Yeah, Hawkins was willing to play VFL, wait till an injury. That was horrible. Don't want to see Danger through that. I think he needs to retire. I think he needs to make a decision. And the club needs to push this. With all due respect, we've had good players over the years, very good players, Hall of Fame players. Ablett, Cameron Ling, Jimmy Bartell. You know, we all pushed them. You know, Ablett probably went on 1 year too late, probably. So he's no different. So need to be firm with him and say, mate, we're at this stage where you're just getting injured too much. Your body can't play back-to-back weeks. We cannot do this rest 2 games, play 1, rest 2 games. But we can't do that. What are your options? What do you think we should do? And he needs to have a good hard think of himself and say, you know what, for the best of the club, I need to do what I need to do and maybe step down and retire. But if he wants to go on, that's fine. If he thinks, you know what, I can really do it, I can go on, I can play, I don't mind getting rested here and there. I just don't think it's for the club. I just don't think that benefits the club, in my opinion. But anyway, this wasn't planned, this video. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Some news. We've got some news coming up. We've got a lot of content during the week. We have got Sheffield Shield Week final. We're doing some watch-alongs. We've got the Crows and Geelong watch-along featuring Mrs. Mum. Mrs. Mum might make an appearance. Gee, I'm going to be excited for that. So it is all going to kick off. The preview show on Wednesday. Kiri might join us for half an hour, and then I'll finish the rest off. So that will be tomorrow. Hopefully teams are in so we can make team selection so we can talk about teams. And then Kiri can bugger off, and then I can rant about how we're going to lose to the Crows and this club's finished. But anyway, Sheffield Shield Week. Yeah, probably Victoria, probably favourites. So that does mean we stink up the joint and lose. And 36 is also I've got no real hopes for them. If they lose, well, they're going to get swept. So if they lose at home, don't even bother playing game 3. And United all this week. So it's a big week. And then the review show. We'll do the review show on Saturday night. We might have a Saturday night space. That kicked off. That absolutely kicked off on Saturday night. So we'll see. I do like going back to the Twitter thing. But we'll see with that. We'll do at least something. But a lot of content coming up. A lot of content. And, looking forward to a coach. But anyway, this has been the Geelong Zone. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our preview show tomorrow, Wednesday, with Kiri, and then I'll finish it off. And as I said, I'll explain why we're going to lose and why this club's finished. Lucas Catters out. Good night, everybody.